What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Body beat down here on this Monday morning, fresh off the school bus. We're gonna have a little topic for discussion. Not really even for discussion, just maybe things on my mind and how I feel about it. And it's going to revolve around kids of today. Now, I'm not a great speaker. I get words mixed up. I forget words I want to use. Simple words. The way I talk just kind of goes all over the place sometimes, but I'm going to try and get my thoughts and opinions out. Does it really matter? No, not really. Nothing we say or do much matters. Let's be honest. Having said that, I'm going to do it anyway. So, last year has really tested me, and then this year is testing me with a couple of kids on the bus. Last year it was one boy that started riding, and now this year he's still riding. But now I have two more boys on the bus that oddly enough live right beside of him, and got the same issue out of at least one of them. The other one's just annoying. It's two brothers. So the one brother's just kind of annoying. But the other brother, whom I think is maybe a year older or something, he's got a problem. And it's the same problem that that other boy has that started riding last year that's also riding this year. Now, this ain't just about these two boys. We'll leave the annoying one out of this. He gets a pass. Just being annoying. So, and I've talked about this before, but you know, when you're stressed, you just got to talk about things. And I'm not overly stressed this morning. It's not like it's, not like I could be. But here it goes. My humble opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind. My humble opinion, what I always say is, since the 90s, and we'll just say 1990, it could be 93, 95, 98. We'll just say since 1990, things have started going downhill with the behavior of children, and probably with the behavior and lifestyle choices of a lot of the adults that are having these kids. Hey, I'm in that group. Had my first kid in 94. And my second kid in 96. But you'll know where the differences come in here in just a moment. So let's say 1990 is when the whole stop paddling and whipping and all that started to come into play. At home, at school. It's abusive, right? It's abusive. No. Anyway, and we're going to keep politics out of this, and religion and other crap like that really don't matter. We're just looking at it from a moral standpoint, values, right, wrong, expectations, etc. What other words you can throw in there? Go for it. Let's say 1990 started the downfall. And every year since then, it's gotten a little worse and a little worse and a little worse and a little worse. Till we are at a point in time where adults have no control. And now I don't mean every single adult and every single kid on the planet, obviously. But let's just, for simple conversation, we'll say, adults and kids. I'm not going to use percentages because I don't know percentages. I've not done a study. So we're at a point in time where nobody has control of kids. Kids are allowed to stay up as long as they want on school nights. Kids are playing video games that they should not be playing. And I don't mean just random shooters and stuff like that. I mean stuff like Grand Theft Auto, where there's prostitution and cuss words and just all kind of stuff mixed together. Mix that with shooters, your typical Call of Duty or Halo or something like that. That's a recipe for disaster. And that's coming from a video gamer, lifelong. I've been gaming since Pong. But things are different now, because you add in that sort of media along with Family Guy, American Dad, South Park, other crap like that, along with no parenting, no whoopings at home, no paddlings at school, no control, no structure. Every family is a broken family. There's no nothing anymore. You add in all that together, and that becomes one big serious problem. And we've been going through this at this level for a number of years now. Not just a couple of years, but this level has been going on for a while. And I got news for you people out there that are against paddlings and whippings. You're the problem. 100%. And I don't know if it's, and again, I said I don't want to get political, but you got to add this in there. I don't know I believe it was a government kind of thing that stepped in and tried to control how people, punish their kids. I believe that was something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time. But there was all kind of debates and all kind of different things for a little while at one point, and off and on. And over the past 35 years, however long. It's at the point where we have no control. So we got a little bit of machinery going on up here. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute. Wait till I get away from all that. So, oh, that tree fell over. Dang. So, here we are. We've got many years now, generations at this point, of less and less actual parenting. Mix that in with social media. Everybody's online. Nobody has time for their kids. Nobody has time to be a parent. Nobody has time to go to work. Nobody has time to do anything because they're too busy doing nothing. So we have generation after generation now of kids slowly on a decline as far as behavioral issues go, likely academics, social life, everything. You know, I have kids getting on the bus. Again, you're not supposed to do this, but here they go. They get on the bus, and you'll see them eating potato chips and drinking soda. Potato chips and soda. That's what they're eating first thing in the morning. What do you think they're probably eating at school? Not much. Then when they get home, probably more potato chips and soda mixed with a bunch of other crap. Fast food, because nobody has time to cook anymore because they're too busy on social media, too busy playing video games, too busy getting another tattoo and another piercing and all these other things. Yeah, I touched on that right there too. So, as someone who works around these kids every day, I can tell you it's gotten worse just since I've been driving a school bus for these 11 years. And I don't see it getting any better. So when I was a kid, you might have had 2 guys on the bus that were a pain. And nowadays it's more like 10. There's about 10 kids on the bus, technically, that need to be rode up every day. Be it from breaking simple rules like snacking on the bus to, throwing something, all the way to using racial slurs from the N-word to calling people gay and queer and stuff like that, which to me is the exact same thing as saying the N-word. So if you can't say one, you shouldn't say the other. You have from one end of the spectrum to the other. Cussing, middle fingers. Let's just talk about these 2 brothers, these 2 new kids that are on let's talk about all of them. The one kid that started riding last year, little boy, rode him up 100 times. This year I've rode him up a few times. Nothing horrible, nothing outrageous, but enough that now I'm having to treat him special. Mike, what do you mean? Well, I came up with a list of different things that I could do to try to help the situation. And I talked to the counselor and the principal and all that at the school. And what I ended up doing was, unfortunately, all 3 of these bad kids, in the mornings, they're at the very front of, they're in the very first of my route. And in the afternoons, they're in the very end. So they're on the whole time. Morning and afternoon. So, anyway, the one kid that's been riding on, 2 years now, little boy, in the afternoons, he don't get on the bus with the other kids at the school. He stays at the school. I run the far leg of my route, and as I'm coming back by the school to run the rest of my route, I stop in the school and I pick him up. That way he's only on the bus like 5 minutes. So, again, special treatment instead of special punishment, like paddlings, whoopings at home, stuff like that. Got a little bit of decoration here. Can't really see, I'm sure. Man, I hate that tree fell over. So we have to special treat this kid, and then the two brothers that are riding this year, same neighborhood as that kid. Well, they're riding it morning and afternoon. Normal stuff. And the one boy, the worst of them, I've rode him up like a dozen times already, and we're only 2 months into the school year. And it was like Monday of last week or Monday of the week before. I don't remember at this point, because it's just every day bleeds into the next. I called on my radio. We were, the kids were getting on the bus in the afternoon. So we're sitting there in line, loading up the kids. And he starts giving me problems. So I get on my radio. I call for someone to please come help me out here with an unruly kid. The lady comes out. I believe she's the principal. I don't know. There's so many people at schools now that, they all, I don't know. So I think she might be the principal. But she got on there, shook her finger at him a little bit. Not the middle one, which probably need to happen. Anyway, but blah, 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 you do this, do that. And then she looked at me and she said, just ignore it. Just ignore him. That triggered me. I didn't say anything. It kind of hit me. Now, I'm not a big outspoken person anyway, so it's not like I would have just took her and said, like, you know what, But it confused me. It kind of, what? Ignore him? I think I said that. I said, you want me to ignore him? I think I said that. Did you say ignore him? Anyway, I think I said something like that. That blew my brain out. That got me. So we're being told to ignore these kids. They won't stay sat down. They won't stay out of the aisle. They won't stay turned around. They won't listen. They won't keep their things put in their backpacks. They won't stop eating on the bus. They won't stop cussing and flipping people off and calling people, what I consider racial slurs. And some of them do say the N-word as well. And I hope parents out there watch this and you realize that your precious angels that you're sending off to school are not precious angels at all. So these kids are not only just doing this on the bus, they're acting out in schools, they're acting out at skating rinks, at the bowling alleys, at the movie theaters, at Walmart, at the restaurant. Everywhere you go, these kids are acting out and being idiots and being allowed to by adults. Adults are allowing this. We can't. I don't think that we can change the world. There's no way we could change the world to make it better. I don't even think that we can change our whole country. Or every state. I don't think that. But what I do think is that we can change the county that we live in, our very city that we live in, if we go back and start handling things the way that they were handled years prior, before everything went horribly wrong. And if we can't get the kids to behave, we start holding the parents or guardians accountable. And if you don't plan on being a good parent or a guardian, don't have kids. Don't take on the kids, because you're not doing anyone any favors. You think you are, but you're raising ill-mannered, mean, angry, aggressive kids. That's what you're doing. So that's not helping anybody. So we can't change the world, but we can change our country, our counties, where we live, our hometowns. We can do that. The government can't tell you what to do. And I know that's what it is. It started with some Karen 35 years ago screaming about how corporal punishment, or whatever you want to call it, whooping, spankings, is not right. You shouldn't be hurting your kids. That doesn't teach anything but pain. No, it teaches you that there's painful consequences. And likely that very person probably grew up with those same consequences, I would assume. So you would think that they would know better. Sometimes you have to inflict a little bit of uncomfortableness, a little bit of pain, in order to get results. Kind of like working out. You have to go through some painful days to reach your goals. I knew I could throw working out in there some way. Well, guys, I'm tired of holding this camera. If things don't change, I'm probably going to lose my job, because everybody has a point where they snap. And when that happens, I'm going to the news stations, and I'm going to spread my message. I don't care what I got to do. People are going to learn that things are not going so well. And there's nothing they can tell me to make me think otherwise. So, I'll be home in just a minute. Guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff to the Body Beat Down. That's me, Michael, your incredible host of this maybe controversial channel. Let me know in the comments if I'm just horribly controversial. And also, while you're at it, get up, get out, get red. Do it to it, and whoop your kids, and be a parent. See y'all later.
Get up, get out, get red, and do it to it!